All right, everyone, we are going to go ahead kick off. Thank you so much for joining us for this month's Caregiver 411. I am super excited about tonight's talk. We are honored to have one of our own SOAR parents, Aleese Stone. She is the owner and founder of Adaptive Adventures Travel, which I am happy and proud to say is the official travel agent and company for SOAR Special Needs. And tonight is, I think, going to be just a great talk for everybody on the top 5 accessible travel locations and everything. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Elise. She'll explain a little bit, I'm sure, about her family. We love having her boys with us. But Elise, take it away. Thank you so much for being with us and
Yes.
doing this.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. And I love sharing about travel and why it's important to travel with our kids and our family, especially with medical and special needs families. So thank you so much. Tonight we're going to talk about the top 5 accessible travel locations that we personally book and use. A lot of these companies we have partnered with, and so I work with the disability coordinators. I work with some of the top business development managers as well. So these may not be the top 5 if you were to like Google it, but these are the top 5 that we use and that we promote and that we feel are the most accessible. Also, all of these we have used ourselves as with our family. So a little bit about me. I am Aleese Stone. Like I said, we're going to do a little introduction, why travel and the top 5 places to travel, and why use us as Adaptive Adventures. Forgot I had that slide in there. Who we are. So, my husband and I founded Adaptive Adventures Travel. We started in February of 2024. So, we are about a year old. My host company that we have, I sold $1.3 million in travel sales in a year's time. And so I absolutely love what I do. I have a team of over 68 agents and growing. And so there are a lot of us. But what's nice about my host company is that everybody can do what they want, they can sell what they want. And so when we started, I decided I wanted to do accessible travel. I've got 2 kiddos. Odin, he's on the left. He's the taller one. He is 9. And then Reese, he's on the right. He is 6. Odin has ADHD and autism. He's also adopted and has a rare medical blood disorder. And then Reese is our bio son. He's our miracle baby. He's on the right, and he's my feisty one. So he is 1 in 7 in the world with his rare medical diagnosis. He has a brain and lung disease. He's got a feeding tube. We deal with oxygen. We deal with we call it the shaky vest. We've got a bunch of medical needs with him. But we used to foster as well. So we used to have kiddos with trachs and seizures and all different types of medical diagnoses, cerebral palsy, things like that. So I've always loved advocating for families with special needs. I used to be a teacher, and I worked in the SPED department as well. So it's just been who I am. So when I started this, I was very thankful that I was blessed with this opportunity. I had a stroke at the age of 30. So I still am, you would never know this, but I'm still learning how to speak and how to form my words and things like that. So it's been a huge honor to be able to do this for other families. As you can see, I am a certified autism travel professional as well. I got my license last year for that, and there are only 4 in the state of Kansas. I just looked right before this presentation. So there was 6, so sometimes they don't renew or whatever, but there's only 4 in the state of Kansas. And I saw 3 on the Missouri side in the Kansas City area. So there's not that many. Of those 4, 3 of them are in Wichita. So I'm the only one here in Kansas City that I know of based off of their website that you can search that is autism certified. So that's a little bit about me. We believe every family deserves to travel with ease no matter what. It is something that my husband and I, when we were trying to think of a name, why Did we want to do accessible travel? We specialize in custom travel, planning for families with medical, sensory, or physical needs. We partner with resorts, cruise lines, theme parks, and I'm going to talk more about that here in a little bit. And we have compassion first. So when you contact us, we will listen to you and see what needs you guys have, and then kind of decide from there. If you come to us and say, hey, we really want to go to Disney and we want to go in July, what do you think? I'm going to be honest with you after I hear what your needs are, if it's a good fit for you in July at Disney. And I'm going to explain that here in a little bit why. So, all right. So here's another surprise one. So why travel? Travel, there's so many different reasons why, but especially with kids with medical and special needs and even adults, it gives you development life skills. Travel naturally creates opportunities for children to practice important life skills. My son, both of my boys really, are regulated when we're traveling, which is funny because you would think we'd be unregulated when we're traveling, but having a routine, because I know where we're going to go, I can show them social stories, I can tell them, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. They are more regulated, and they're also able to problem solve or learn problem solving skills, which will help them with developmenting life skills in the future. Also, family bonding. Of course, any family going on a family vacation, you're going to be able to have those shared travel experiences, all those memories. Some of the best memories, that picture on the left was on my son's Make-A-Wish trip. One of the best memories we've ever had. We went to San Francisco, but his wish was camping in the mountains. So we went up to Mount Shasta, and then we drove back down to San Francisco, where his brother wanted to meet Sonic. He thought Sonic lived in San Francisco. We made it happen. Sonic came to our hotel, and we also got to have some educational experiences too. So they learned, Reese got to learn how to fly a plane. That picture's over there on the far right, which is also why travel. All those educational experiences, those multi-sensory learning experiences that kids are receiving, the educational approaches are a little different. So I know a lot of even homeschool families that they will travel and their kids are learning through travel. So that is why I feel like it is so important. But let's talk about some of our top 5 destinations. So on number 5, we're going to count backwards here, but on number 5, this is a newer one. This is Okana Resort and Great Wolf Lodge. There are 2 different ones. So with water parks, sometimes this is why it's number 5, but sometimes it's great because kids love, the water, the sensory play, but it can be loud. So it just depends on your family and your needs. But what I love about Okana is it's only a 4.5-hour drive. You're still going on vacation. You're still getting out of Kansas City. Some families like staycations, but for our family, we like to get a little bit further out. I feel like my kids don't have as many meltdowns. If I have a staycation, my kids feel like they can go back home and we have more meltdowns. So by being a little bit further, it works for us, but every family is different. Okana is not just a water park. It's controlled. It's climate friendly. They've got indoor and outdoor. The temperature is controlled year round. You've got less transition. So you're there already. You guys can be at the pool hanging out. And if there's a meltdown, you guys can go straight to the room right away. And so that's a nice, quiet getaway. We've had to do that a lot. Where if you're over at the beach or something and you've got to get away, it's a lot harder to get back to your resort or get into the car and all of that. So this is a great destination because you can get back right away. Okana's brand new, so they follow all the ADA. They've actually have bigger and wider pathways. We're going there this summer. My son, he uses a wheelchair part-time, so we are experienced with wheelchairs, and we like to go try out these resorts before promoting them. However, there is another agent that I work with who has been to this resort and said it was fantastic for their family. And so I felt comfortable promoting it tonight. But we are going this summer. And then Great Wolf Lodge, a lot of us know about Great Wolf Lodge, but that is also a great one too. They've got sensory Sundays. I know Okana Resort is working on sensory days as well, but being new, it's harder for them to do. But there are sensory friendly locations and options. They do staff their lifeguards. If you let us know that if you book with us, we usually will let the front desk know, hey, I've got this family coming. These are some of their needs. They will let their staff know too. So we are working closely. It doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect, of course, but they're at least going to let their staff know, hey, we've got we have a family coming that have some extra needs, or we've got multiple families coming. If you're going as a big group, letting them know so they can staff extra lifeguards, things like that, because they will do that. If they know that there are multiple families going, they will staff extra staff for those activities. And then, of course, having on-site restaurants is good. They will allow you to bring your own food at both resorts. They accommodate, allergies, food textures, feeding tubes, things like that. I've had conversations with both of these locations, and they call them disability coordinators, but with their coordinators, and they have always been great to deal with. Great Wolf Lodge has multiple locations, and you can see them below. So yeah, this is a great option. It's all right there. You don't have to go anywhere. If you want to go other places, you can, but this is a great place for just having it all in one spot. All right, so number 4. Let's see. All right, Morgan's Wonderland. I love this one. So we personally have not been there. Again, we like to do ones that we have been. We had a planned trip this summer. However, after I continued to research, we were going to do a big group trip. It was going to be actually this week, first week of June. I'm glad we didn't do it because my friend was down there this week and it was 110 degrees. So we are hoping to plan one maybe next year. We didn't get around to it for this year. But with Morgan's Wonderland, I highly recommend winter or spring months. Even fall can be a little warm. So November is really when you're wanting to go, from November to about March, April. Morgan's Wonderland's great in the summer, but if your kids don't do well in heat, I definitely would not go there because of the heat. They are located in San Antonio. The other downside about Morgan's Wonderland, even though they are phenomenal, is it's in San Antonio. And San Antonio, the city itself, is not very accessible. The Riverwalk is not accessible at all. I feel like the elevator breaks constantly. The paths are very narrow. So that was another reason why we chose not to go there, even though we wanted to go visit Morgan's Wonderland. Now, the positive thing is that there's going to be one in Olathe soon, and it's going to have a different name, but it's going to be very similar to Morgan's Wonderland. And so we are hoping to do lots of different activities there with adaptive adventures, and hopefully get people from out of state coming here to go visit. They are the world's first accessible theme park, thoughtfully designed so every guest, regardless of the ability, can play side by side. They give peace of mind to special needs families. They've got wheelchair swings, quiet rooms, safe. It's just a safe area for everybody. What's also really cool is your money that you pay for those tickets, that goes back into the community. And they partner with medical and therapy organizations. So it's mainly volunteer based. There are employees, but mainly most of your money going into the parks are coming right back out to therapy and medical organizations all over in the San Antonio area, which is pretty cool. It is made, like I said, for individuals with disability. They are free. That's also a really cool thing. My kids love to go to Worlds of Fun, but my oldest gets overstimulated and my youngest can't ride half of the rides because they don't allow his feeding tube bag to be on, and we don't feel comfortable disconnecting it every single time he wants to get on a ride. And at Morgan's Wonderland, it's accessible. They will let you wear your feeding bag. They will let you go in your wheelchair. And I love that the individuals are free to go to this park, and it's very affordable even for the families itself. They also have Inspiration Island. It is attached to Morgan's Wonderland, It is fully accessible. Your wheelchairs can go pushed in. I wish that picture showed better, but you can push them into the splash pad. You can go right under the big bucket. Um, I have heard wonderful things about it. I've had families go there. We just have not been there ourselves. And then, like I said, it's the only accessible park currently, but I cannot wait for the one in Olathe. All right.
Hey,
And
real
then
quickly,
number three, this one I am excited about. So with the number three is Royal Caribbean and Virgin Voyages. Now, cruises, people think, oh, I'm really nervous. You know, what happens if something medically goes wrong on the cruise ship? Now, there are some cruise lines that I would be like, absolutely not. I'm not going to name them here, but there are cruise lines that I'd be like, ooh, I'd probably not go. However, Royal Caribbean is fantastic, one of the best for medical special needs and disabilities, and Virgin Voyages. Virgin Voyages actually has a really cool partnership. Cannot think of the name of the group. I think it's called Wheeling Around or Wheels something. But Virgin Voyages is 18 and older. So it is fantastic for adults with disabilities. You've got brand new cruise ships. They are built with accessibility in mind, wide doorways, roll-in showers. They have the most ADA accessible cabins available on any cruise ship. When they were designing them, you know, it was every so many cabins, there would be one ADA room. They kind of flipped it. They did every so many cabins, let's say 5 or 6 cabins, we're going to put 2 ADA rooms because they knew that there was a need, and these ships were just recently made. So I love that they did that. It's calm. There's no kids. It's a little bit less chaotic, less overstimulation. So it's great for adults with sensory and processing needs or anxiety. Another thing I love is that there's no buffets. So there's not stress. You're not walking around trying to find your food. You're not, you know, if there's allergies, I have so many allergies myself. And so I love this that every meal at a rest is like restaurant style, no fighting crowds, no navigating the buffet lines. They will help with dietary restrictions. They have the most advanced medical centers on board besides Royal Caribbean. They kind of work hand in hand. They are not the same company, but they do have very similar medical trained type staff. I did not know that till I met with Royal Caribbean last week with their medical director. They have on-demand room service. It's 24/7. It's on your app. So if you need to, you know, get away or you're in your room and you're hungry, you can order food. And again, they will still work with your diet. They have flexible entertainment schedules, so you don't have to like plan schedules. Some people like that. They've got quiet spaces as well. And then also they have their smaller ships. So their ships are not as big. So you don't have 4,000 or 5,000 people on them as well, which is also a really cool thing. And then Royal Caribbean. So Royal Caribbean's also, like I said, one of my favorites. It's one of the most disability friendly cruise lines in the world, especially for families navigating autism or any other special needs. They are autism friendly certified. So they have that, you know, I showed you that training that I had at the beginning. They have those through the IBCCES. They are a certified autism center. They support guests with autism, sensory needs, developmental disabilities. They are especially trained in autism awareness and accommodations. And I see Kylie just jumped on here. We're going to talk at the end about our cruise, but Kylie and I have partnered together. She's also a travel agent, and we have partnered together with Royal Caribbean, so I can't wait to explain that at the end. They have exceptional accessibility on the ship. They are wheelchair accessible. Their newer ships, such as Wonder of the Seas, their rooms are right off to the side for ADA to be able to get on the ship. For their rooms, they used to be all the way in the back, and those halls would be really, really tiny and hard to get wheelchairs through. So it is a lot easier because it's like right off the elevator and right there. They have pool lifts. I could go on and on about Royal Caribbean. They work with dining and allergy accommodations. They have staff trained to handle the food allergies, special diets. They will blend your food for if you're tube fed. They will bring you distilled water if you need. I work pretty closely with the disability coordinator and the medical director. He is based out in the UK. So it's always fun trying to get a call with him with our time change, but we work pretty closely with them. They also have medical support on board as well. So depending on how large the ship is, they have so many nurses and doctors, but they basically can perform anything. They don't do like CAT scans, things like that, but they've got X-ray. They have, they're kind of like a miniature ER, and so they have worked with us to try to figure out the best place for a family on a cruise. I may not want to do a 7-day cruise with 3 sea days because I'm going to be out in the middle of the ocean, but being close to the Bahamas, that I know that we can get back within 2 to 3 hours, or actually not even 2 to 3 hours, but I know that we can get back pretty quickly from the Bahamas back to Florida. And so that is why also another reason to use us, because we know, like, okay, is this safe? Like, if they're in the middle of the ocean for 3, 4 days and something happens, are they going to be able to get back to the United States or back to a port where they can be taken care of? And Royal Caribbean has forms that you would fill out before you even get on the ship to make sure that it's safe for everybody involved as well. Also, Coco Cay is one of their locations, their port locations, and it is super fun. They've got those beach chairs, they've got the strollers as well. They have quite a few of them. Starting next year, they're going to have this area where you can kind of like a biker rack, but it's for wheelchairs, so you can lock up your chairs. Right now, you've got your chair, you get out of your chair and you go into the beach chair, but what do you do with the other chair? And so they are making bike racks with locks. Basically, they're going to be wheelchair racks with locks to be able to put your chair there and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Another thing about Royal Caribbean and Virgin Voyages does this too, and you can actually can't see it in that picture, but you can rent hospital beds, you can rent oxygen machines, you can rent lifts. If you need a toilet seat, if you need a bent, like a toilet chair or a bath chair, sorry, any type of those things, you can rent them. We will also work with renting them. And so as soon as you get on the ship, it will be there for you. And then when you get off the ship, they'll come on and take it away and disassemble it and all of that. So that is another really cool thing. Something I did not mention about Virgin Voyages, and unfortunately, other companies do this, but for ADA rooms, Virgin Voyages does not charge extra for ADA rooms. There are cruise lines that will charge extra for ADA rooms. Unfortunately, Royal Caribbean is one of them. However, I have figured out a way to get through that hoop. So if you work with us, we will have the same price as any other room, but usually if you go to book it yourself and you go from a regular room to an ADA room, the price will go up. But with Virgin Voyages, they don't charge extra. So it doesn't matter what room you select, it's going to be the same price. And that is as long as it's in the same category. And that is something that I just love, because I think it's so wrong to charge more for a room that you need. I hate to drop names, but I went to go book our trip for Disney on a cruise, and it was about $200 more just for an ADA room. And I'm like, why? And that's when I started to research all of this, and that's when I found that out about Virgin Voyages. So that is another reason why I love them. All right, number 2, this is everyone's favorite, but Disney is a huge one. Our number 1 and number 2, we could do a toss up really, but Disney and Orlando, they have so much to offer. Disneyland is also great, but I'm going to talk mainly about Disney World. But Disneyland would be in this bubble. There is just so much to do in Disney, and ADA wise, they are pretty fantastic. There are endless options with Orlando. They are equipped with the top children's hospitals. They work with Advent Health. Everything's right there. I've had friends who have gone on their Make-A-Wish trip and have had issues, and the children's hospital have been phenomenal. So that is also something I think about when I'm going to a location. when I went on my son's Make-A-Wish trip, I was terrified. We were in the mountains. We were like 4 hours away from civilization. Um, we had a plan. We always had a plan, but it terrified me. So in Disney in Orlando, they've got great medical care. We have actually used the Disney doctors on the like the Disney territory. So we have used them, and we've also used Advent Health at in Orlando as well. So they are phenomenal. So the DAS Pass, that is something that's offered in Disney. That's the disability service. A lot of my clients will call and say, "Hey, I want to book Disney, but I heard that they're really strict." I will tell you that every single client that we have used that have asked for the DAS Pass have received the DAS Pass. We have had no issues with that. If they don't qualify for whatever reason, they do have rider switch. But I have never had any issues. I will walk you through the steps. I will tell you what to say based off of your needs. I have worked with the disability coordinator in Disney, and so I know that I kind of know like what they are looking for, but I have learned that they will now put on a medical professional. So it's usually the cast members deciding, which I had told them, I'm like, well, that's probably not the best because cast members, some of them might be 19, 20 years old and not understand the medical world. And so now they do have medical professionals. If your case is denied and you're like, hey, I don't think that's right, they will go ahead and give it to a medical professional. So like I said, I've never had a client get denied. And I will tell you if there's just no way, but most of the families that work with us, they're always going to get the disability pass. And that one's great because you're able to pick what ride you want to go on. You're then go, if it's like a 30-minute wait, you'll have a 20-minute window. You'll then go to the fast pass line and you'll go in through that way. If they don't have an ADA area, like a wheelchair accessible area, they'll have you go through the back, but most of their lines are now wheelchair accessible. So that is one thing I love about Disney. You can rent strollers. We work with different agencies to rent strollers, medical strollers, EVC carts as well. They will be delivered to your hotel. And then also picked up right before you leave. So that is something that's wonderful. You can, of course, get them at Disney, but I always suggest just having it. You'll get it for your whole stay. And it's a lot cheaper than renting it every day in the parks. You will have access depending on if you stay on property or off property. You'll have buses. All their buses are ADA accessible. I talk you through all the steps of how to get your wheelchair tag so that you can use your stroller or wheelchair as a wheelchair. So let's say you're like my son in that one picture, he's in a stroller, but they tagged it as a wheelchair. So I don't have to fold his stroller every single time when we get on the bus, which was super handy because there were days that he could not walk at all after big, long, busy days. So I will talk to you about staying on property versus off property. I prefer on property, but sometimes families want to be able to spread out a little bit more. There are properties that are larger that are considered off property, but it still has on property up like accommodations and things and has transport. There are a lot of Orlando attractions that have certified autism centers, such as SeaWorld, Aquatica, Discovery Cove. You see my boys, we went to SeaWorld this past February. They've got Sesame Street. In April, they have Autism Awareness Month, and they'll have Abby and all the different characters there in April. They're there all the time, but they'll have specific ones with autism. I can't think of her name right now, the Sesame Street character, but she will be there, and she's only there in the month of April. Discovery Cove, so they offer a calm and all-inclusive sensory escape. I would say this is for about kids ages 6 or 7 and up. I wouldn't say 6 and 7 physically, but I would say more 6 or 7 mentally. Or if they're comfortable in the water. They have life jackets and things, but they need to be comfortable in the water. Discovery Cove is all water. It's with animals. You're swimming. It's also cold. So they do offer all the snorkel gear, the suits, and all of that, but it is really cold water. My 6 year old can't handle that cold water, and he's also just not ready for it yet. I would even say my 9 year old, he's on that edge where he's kind of ready for it. He would love it, but he's just not quite there. So you guys know your kids best and your family's best. I personally love it as an adult. But with the cold temperatures and stuff, with my stroke, I struggle. So it's something that I used to love to enjoy, but it's something I don't love as much. But they are accessible. They have like lower guests. You have to have a reserved ticket for this one. And so they will only allow so many people in, which is great. It's all inclusive, so all of your meals are included. The wetsuits, that's the word I was looking for. They'll provide the wetsuits, the snorkel gear, towels, all of that. So it is a great option, but you just have to know if it's a good option for your family. Like I said, there's a lot of swimming with that one. And for our family, it just doesn't work. But I've had families that have gone and have absolutely loved it. And like I said, it's wheelchair friendly. They've got beach wheelchairs available. The staff will work with families ahead of time to meet your mobility and communication and all of your medical needs. I had a family that did this for their Make-A-Wish, and they loved it. And their kids were 5, 6, and I think 8. So like I said, it just depends on your family if it's a good fit for you guys or not. All right, so let's go to the next one. All right, so number one, my favorites, again, it depends on who you are, but this is one of my favorites. It's Beaches and Sandals. Now, I love sandals. I love it for respite. I love it for a getaway. It is great for adults, even if just you need a respite time. This resort, they are phenomenal. But if you have food allergies, if you have sensory needs, if you have physical needs, anything, Sandals and Beaches is just hands down one of the best. Now, I will say that they are expensive, but you definitely get what you pay for because they will go above and beyond. They always have with our clients. They are just fantastic. Beaches is currently located. They've got one in Negril. Ocho Rios is closing. They just closed last week. So Ocho Rios just closed, but they've got Negril in Jamaica and then Turks and Caicos location. Now, I will say the Turks and Caicos location is a lot more expensive. However, it's definitely one of the better ones of the two. But there's one opening not next year, but the year after in the Bahamas. And that one will be really easy to get to. Turks and Caicos does take a few layovers, things like that. Bahamas won't be direct from Kansas City, but it would be a quick flight from Florida to the Bahamas. So I cannot wait for that one to open at that Beaches resort. Beaches is autism certified. They have probably the best program I've ever seen. I thought Disney had a decent autism program. I thought even like SeaWorld had a good program, but Beaches is just phenomenal. They even have one-on-one care as well. There is a price for the one-on-one care if you want it in your hotel room, but there is no extra price to have one-on-one care while on the resort. They also do an autism awareness family week, which is actually in October this year. We were going to do one, but the prices were just so high. And by the time that we got a few people interested, the rooms had already sold out. So it sells out super fast. It's usually October every year, though. So I'm hoping maybe next year we can do it. They switch off between Turks and Caicos and Negril. So this year's Turks and Caicos, which is my guess, will be Negril next year. They are just phenomenal. The one-on-one program is great because they will meet with you before you even go on your trip. You'll fill out a form with me. I'll submit it in. They will then call you and contact you and you can meet the person that your kid is going to be with for that week even. And then they'll have one-on-one conversations. They are food aware, they're allergy safe. They will make a menu specifically for your child or even for you if you've got food allergies. I know I have a ton of food allergies. So when I go, that I have my own menu, it even has your name on it because they know that menu is for you and this is what you can order at this location. Um, they will meet with you if you're going to be there for a longer stay, like 6 to 7 nights. They will meet with you the very first night and say, hey, what are some of the items that you want on your menu? So yeah, they go above and beyond. What I like about this too is when I give you a price, that includes transportation, that includes all your tips and gratuities, that includes water sports, that includes snorkeling. Everything is included. If you're going off property and doing an extra excursion or going to the spa, that is a little extra. But most all inclusives, you got a tip or you here and there while you're eating, or you've got, if you're at the bar, you need to tip $1 here, things like that, and it adds up. But having all of this included, it's just worth it. Some of these resorts like Sandals, you can go golfing and your golf fees are included too. So depending on what resort you're at, having golf included with the price, it's just phenomenal. Like I said, I could go on and on. Our client's favorite, and it's the siblings, they love this, is the swim up bar for the kids. They have their own kids area. They have their own little swim up bar with all the mocktails. They've got a water park at both resorts. They have Sesame Street, that is their character, but I hear that that might be changing soon. And so they've got a partnership with Sesame Street. And so it's just a great location, and our number one location. Also, I wouldn't say it's our number one booking location. Our number one booking location is Disney, but we often, somebody will say, hey, I want to go to Disney, but can you price out beaches too, just in case, because we might change our mind. And you know what? Beaches usually is either the same price or cheaper, because you're going to have all of your food included. You're going to have your transport, your activities while you're on the resort. Like I said, everything's included. They have a great kids club. And they will take your kiddos, even if they have mobility needs, special needs, any type of extra needs, they will still take your kiddos too. And I don't know too many kids clubs that will allow your kiddos to come in. They'll even allow the parents to come in too, if you want your kids to have that time at the kids club. All right, so this brings me to my next thing. We've got a few current, oh, that's not what I wanted. We have a few current offers, and I'm excited to share. Let's see if I can switch it. There we go. All right, so we are working with Sandals and Beaches. This one specifically says Sandals, but if you book or refer anyone to us with the Caribbean's best destination for golf, they don't have to be going on a golf trip. This one was just one that I used for a golf trip. We are going to donate 15% of our commission directly to SOAR. So anyone for Beaches or Sandals, we will donate 15% to SOAR. And let me tell you, the commission's pretty good with Sandals and Beaches. So I am really excited to be starting this. And we started this last week. So I am really excited about that. Another thing is Kylie is with Limitless Travel and Beyond. She started not too long ago, but she's got a kiddo with medical needs as well, and she works at Children's Mercy. And we partnered together, and we're going to do an adaptive family cruise. So February 9th through the 13th. That is the price for an interior room with the family of 4, but we have rooms held off to the side, and we hope that we can meet other families that can come with us. You do not have to have medical or special needs to attend. This is for anybody. So if you've got a friend that's looking for a cruise and they want to attend, let them know that we are hosting it too. We are super excited. We are going to be porting out of Miami, stopping in the Bahamas at Coco Cay, and then a day at Nassau, Bahamas, and then a day at sea. All of the foods included. as long as it's not the specialty dining. We are giving a $25 onboard credit. We hope to increase that in the future, depending on how many rooms that we book. Kylie, I think we're at like what, 8 to 10 rooms right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, she's shaking her head. So we're about 8 to 10 rooms right now. And so we're super excited to be hosting this.
The
All
big
right.
ticket item, Aleese, I didn't hear you say yet, but that we don't have to have passports. I know that's huge.
Oh, yes, I forgot to mention that. Thank you. But you do not need passports to go on this cruise. So any cruises that start in the United States and end in the United States, you do not need a passport. You do need an ID, a government state ID, and you can get IDs for kids even at your local DMV if they don't have like a school ID. So that you do need is either a birth certificate for your child or a government issued ID. And then for adults, you just need your driver's license. So you do not have to have a passport out of, as long as it's a closed loop is what they call. All right, so my next one, Kylie doesn't even know about this. I'm super excited to share this, but we are launching a book, and we are having our pre-orders are available now. And I wrote this with my mom. We've compiled some information and data together, and I've made a real life guide to traveling with medical and special needs kids. And not kids, but just in general. And I am super excited. You guys are the first to hear. I did mention it briefly on Facebook right before this, but I am so excited. And all the proceeds are going to a nonprofit close to my heart. It's the Odin Heart Foundation that my mom started. And it is to help the caregivers of medical and special needs. So this is a nonprofit that she started based off of my son, Odin, my oldest, because she saw that there was a need with the caregivers and that we needed some support and guidance and respite and all of that. And she just saw how caring my son was and named it Odin's Heart Foundation. So all the proceeds with this book will go to Odin's Heart Foundation. So I'm super excited about that. A little things in this book talks about why travel, talks about different guides and checklists about travel, talks about a lot about autism, but there's also other things that it discusses. And if you have any questions, you can just contact me and I can tell you if it's a good one. But honestly, I think anybody who works with medical and special needs families should have this, anyone who travels, and even for your own self, just learning. If you've never traveled with your family, it's a great way to show you that it's gonna be okay. And like, but also to show you, if you're getting on a plane and I have a family that's going to Disneyland, which is in California, and they're really worried about the layover and the extra the flight. And so it talks about in there, maybe having one day where when you land, you stay at a hotel one night and then you get on for the next day going to California. So it breaks up your flights. So just talking about how you would plan that, the airlines and things like that. All right, so we hope that this is informative for all of you. We hope that you will book your next vacation with us. It doesn't have to be a vacation. That's another thing that we do. So for my son, we do a lot of medical trips to Cincinnati. We get all of our care done in Cincinnati. Any type of medical booking, any commissions that we get, you guys get to choose if you want that back into your pocket. We'll send you a gift card, or if you want to donate it to the local Ronald McDonald House of the hospital that you are going to. So for us, we go to Cincinnati Children. So any type of bookings that I do, my commissions goes right back to Cincinnati Ronald McDonald House. So that is something that you guys decide. I had a family that booked with us, and they're like, hey, we'd rather just have the gift card. We really need it for food and things like that. And I'm like, great. So as soon as I got paid, I went ahead and sent them a gift card so that they were able to get that. So we just want to give back to the community. And so just let us know if it is. Obviously, if you're going to Mexico and staying at a 5-star resort, I know that you're not going for medical care. And so just let us know, hey, this stay is for a hospital stay. Let us know. And be open with us, and we will make sure that that money goes right back to you guys, because it's something important to us. So, all right, Doc, it's back to you.
Well, awesome job, Aleese. This is wonderful information. I've got a couple really cool announcements to make along with that. One is the amusement park you talked about for coming in Olathe. SOAR is a part of that.
Oh,
So we
awesome.
we are going to be a part of that, and there's a lot more coming with that, and we are going to be playing a major part. So we are very excited. So keep following everything along with us. But we've met with the owners and they want sort of be a major part because they love what we're doing. So we are excited and honored to be a part of that. One other thing, just I saw about a year ago. I have you had much experience with the Kennedy Space Center down in Florida, or know anything about travel with them?
Yeah, so I haven't had anyone go there, but I've read about them a little bit.
So we happened to be in Florida a year ago and we ended up going up to Kennedy. Um and I gotta tell you guys, I was really impressed with them and everything they had available for the families that had disabilities. They seemed very uh accessible. And I don't know if it was just for that month since it was Disability Awareness Month, but they actually had some wheelchairs that you could use that looked like the lunar rover.
Oh, that's so cool.
That was very, very cool. So I thought that was a very neat thing that they could do. But let's go ahead and just open it up. Does anyone have any questions or anything for Aleese? If you don't want to get on camera, you can put it in the chat as well. We're following that here too. But a lot of great information. Excited about all this. Is and get the email on here again, adaptiveadventurestravel@gmail.com. If need to email her for anything, and then the website there as well.
Yeah, so I use Linktree, and then that will have my Facebook, my Instagram, and my website as well. And on the website is the book. And I did have the QR code as well if you guys want to pre-order the book.
Yeah. So, um, you know, and again, I'd say, if there's a place, and these are just the five that Aleese has listed that are have she's had the best experience with. This doesn't mean these are the only ones to go with. SOAR is also autism certified by IBECC.
See ya.
Yes, all the letters get together for me. I always mess that up. SOAR was actually the first autism certified organization in Kansas City, so we're honored to be a part of that. And we're SOAR is working with the Overland Park and Lee Summit Chamber of Commerce's to try to help both cities become the first autism certified cities in our states. And there's a lot of work to do with that, but there are a lot of autism certified cities now where it's very accessible and the entire city just really does a great job with that. So there's all kinds of great places that you can go and look at um,
And
for
I have a list of all those too. So if you are not sure where you're wanting to go, but you're wanting a list, you can always put it in Google. And I see, like you said, ICBC. So here I can look real quick. But you can put it in there, and they will show you all the cities that you can also search. If you're in a different state and you're like, hey, I want to use an agent that is close to my state or whatever, you can search other agents that are certified. Like I said, there's only a few in the state of Kansas, myself included, but it's the IBCCES. And you can put it into Google, and they will show you all the cities. And now they also have a lot of good information on their website too, just about traveling with medical and special needs.
And it's a good place that you can check, not just for the travel, but they'll show you what organizations, what businesses are
Mhm.
autism certified. They do not give it to just anybody. You have to meet several standards
Yeah.
to go through the process. So it's a very reputable and prestigious honor to have with that. And so I know we're honored to have that. I know it means a lot for Elise to be able to have that designation, and they keep checking on you and make sure you're maintaining. It's not something that you just get and you keep forever with it. You have to maintain that. So that's a great. One thing I'll throw out that you guys can think about from a travel standpoint. SOAR, one of the things with SOAR, we constantly are wanting to help families, think through everything. But for SOAR, one of the things that we also are passionate about, we believe every family should be able to go a place of faith of their choosing. And faith is a big piece for us. Along with that, when we read the Bible and read the Great Commission, it says we should all go into all the world and share the gospel. It doesn't just say those with an IQ over 70 or those who are, have no medical or no disabilities. Well, we've done a lot of research, and from what we can find, there are hundreds of organizations that do missions trips to go serve individuals and organizations all over the world with special needs. And that's fantastic. We love that. We support that. We have not found a single organization that takes individuals and families with disabilities to go serve other families. So, SOAR, we are in the process of becoming that first organization. And we've got three places in particular that we are working, and 10% of everything that comes into us, we donate to other organizations that we've helped. One is in Belize. It's Camp Sekansa, and we've helped them develop a special needs family camp. And how cool would it be to be able to, the key word in my life is perspective. We can have the perspective that things can really be bad, or we can choose the perspective to find the good in what's going on. And in these form, we do Belize, we have something in Kenya, Africa, and something in the Middle East. And all three of those locations, if you've got a child with special needs, it's considered disgraceful, shameful, or even sinful, and you're shunned by the community. And so, for us, we can think, oh my gosh, it's a horrible day. We had to wait an hour, 2 hours for a doctor's appointment. Well, down there, it's nothing like that. So we can go down there, serve these families, work with them. Our kids can work with them, and then it can change our perspective, help us see how much we had to be thankful for. At the same time, the families there can see our families and see what it means to actually pour into our kids, give them the love, give them the everything that we can. And so we are in the process of trying to create those trips. I'm in the process of trying to fundraise to get myself down there so I can see it on the ground. I've done everything over Zoom, but we've helped create a special needs family camp there in Kenya, Africa. We have created a special needs soccer camp and respite for families and working with churches. And in the Middle East, we're starting to do some stuff there too. So hopefully be watching, things will come. And like I said, Aleese is our official travel agent. She'll be putting all that together for us and helping us through that process. So we're excited for this partnership. So with that, I want to thank everyone for coming out. If nobody else has any questions, Aleese, again, I want to thank you for taking time tonight. Our next talk next month for where are we? That'll be June already. I can't believe it's almost June. June, again, we're going to have another great talk. We are going to have a talk from a good friend of mine on nutrition and how we can just eat well and help take care of ourselves. So she's going to be going through how we can just help ourselves. And I forgot the name of it right off the top of my head. I should have that open. But she'll be Mariah Farah will be talking, and that'll be a great talk. So if you're already registered for this, you'll be registered for that one. We'll be posting things up, but we appreciate y'all coming out. And Aleese, thank you again. We appreciate having you.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, gang. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.